Imagine a world where your brain isn't a fixed structure but a living, breathing entity capable of transforming itself. Where the same neural pathways that once led you to self-doubt or stress could be rerouted to light up with confidence, joy, and clarity. This isn't science fiction, it's the reality of neuroplasticity, the brain's extraordinary ability to rewire itself throughout your life. And it's the key to unlocking success and happiness, not as distant goals but as everyday experiences you can shape with intention, practice, and a deep understanding of how your mind works. Your brain is not a static machine. It's a dynamic ecosystem of neurons firing and reforming connections every single day. Every time you learn something new, every time you confront a fear, every time you choose to smile instead of snap, you're not just reacting, you're rewriting the very architecture of your mind. This process, called neuroplasticity, is the reason you can recover from trauma, master a skill, or fall in love. It's the reason you're not doomed to repeat the same patterns of thought and behavior your whole life. You have the power to reshape your brain, and the journey begins with understanding how. Let's start with the foundation, neuroplasticity itself. For decades, scientists believed the brain was a rigid organ, its structure set in adulthood. But research has shattered that myth. Studies show that even in old age, the brain can grow new neurons, forge fresh connections, and even reassign functions to different regions. This adaptability is what makes learning possible, recovery from injury possible, and personal growth possible. The catch? It doesn't happen by accident. It happens through consistent, deliberate practice. Just like a muscle, your brain strengthens and reshapes itself when you challenge it, through learning, repetition, and emotional engagement. Take mindfulness, for example. You've probably heard the term before, but what does it actually do to your brain? A 2018 study published in the Journal of Neuroscience found that just 8 weeks of mindfulness meditation increased gray matter density in brain regions linked to learning, memory, and emotional regulation by up to 5%. That's not just a number, it's a testament to how a simple practice can physically transform your brain. When you sit in stillness and observe your thoughts without judgment, you're training your prefrontal cortex, the brain's command center, to override the amygdala, the fear center that often hijacks your thinking in stressful moments. Over time, this shift reduces anxiety, sharpens focus, and builds resilience. It's like building a new highway through a crowded city, rerouting traffic away from congestion and toward efficiency. But mindfulness is just one piece of the puzzle. Another powerful tool is cognitive behavioral techniques, or CBT. This approach, used widely in therapy, helps you identify and replace self-limiting beliefs with empowering narratives. Imagine you're someone who's always told themselves, "I'm not good enough." Through CBT, you'd learn to challenge that thought by asking, "Is this belief based on facts or fear?" and then replace it with something like, "I've succeeded before, and I can again." A 2020 report from the American Psychological Association found that 70% of people who practiced CBT for anxiety or depression experienced significant symptom reduction within 12 weeks. That's not just a statistic, it's a lifeline for millions of people who felt trapped by their own thoughts. By consciously changing the stories we tell ourselves, we change the neural circuits that support those stories, creating a brain that's more open, more flexible, and more capable of success. And here's the thing, your environment matters. The brain doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's shaped by the people around you, the relationships you nurture, and the communities you belong to. Harvard's 85-year-long study of adult development, one of the longest-running studies in human history, found that strong relationships are the single most important predictor of long-term happiness and health. It's not about being perfect or having a flawless life, it's about having people who listen, support you, and challenge you to grow. When you surround yourself with positive, emotionally intelligent individuals, you're not just building a support system, you're training your brain to be more empathetic, more resilient, and more attuned to the needs of others. But it's not just about what you do, it's about what you don't do. Sleep, nutrition, and physical exercise are the unsung heroes of brain health. A lack of sleep, for instance, can be devastating. Research from the University of California, Berkeley, reveals that sleep deprivation reduces the brain's ability to form new memories by up to 40%. That's the equivalent of erasing a month's worth of learning in a single night. On the flip side, quality sleep is when your brain clears out toxins, consolidates memories, and prepares for the day ahead. Nutrition plays a similar role. Omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and whole foods aren't just good for your body, they're essential for keeping your brain sharp and your mood stable. And exercise? It's like a miracle drug for the mind. Physical activity increases the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, a protein that helps neurons grow and form new connections. Whether you're running, dancing, or doing yoga, you're not just improving your body, you're building a stronger, more adaptable brain. Let's talk about goals and visualization, because these are the fuel that keeps your brain's rewiring engine running. When you set clear, meaningful goals, you activate the brain's reward pathways, the same circuits that light up when you eat chocolate or hear your favorite song. This is why visualization is so powerful. Studies show that imagining yourself achieving a goal, whether it's giving a speech, winning a competition, or starting a business, can trigger the same neural activity as actually doing it. It's like mentally rehearsing a performance before stepping onto the stage. This practice isn't just motivational, it's neurological. It primes your brain to believe in success, to anticipate the joy of achievement, and to build the mental stamina needed to push through obstacles. Now, let's bring this all together with a real-life example. Consider the case of John, a former corporate executive who faced a career setback after being laid off. Instead of succumbing to despair, he took a deliberate approach to rewiring his brain. He started with CBT, working with a therapist to replace thoughts like "I'll never recover" with "I've overcome challenges before, and I can again." He began journaling every night, not to dwell on his loss but to reflect on 3 things he was grateful for: his health, his family, and the skills he still possessed. Within 6 months, he noticed a shift in his mindset. He felt less anxious, more focused, and more confident in his ability to rebuild his life. By the 18-month mark, he'd launched a successful consulting business, leveraging the resilience he'd cultivated through intentional practice. His story isn't unique. It's a testament to the power of combining CBT, gratitude, and goal setting to create lasting change. But here's the thing, rewiring your brain isn't a quick fix. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It requires consistency, patience, and the willingness to show up for yourself even when the going gets tough. There will be days when you feel stuck, when old habits resurface, and when the noise of the world makes it hard to hear your own voice. That's normal. The brain is a complex system, and change doesn't happen overnight. But with each small step, each mindful breath, each kind word to yourself, each act of gratitude, you're laying the groundwork for a brain that's more resilient, more capable, and more aligned with the life you want to live. So what's the most important takeaway from all of this? It's this: you have the power to shape your brain, and every choice you make is a vote for the kind of person